For Best Music Coach, my name is Dan, and you are watching a music teacher's reaction live and in real time to Shin Megami Tensei 5. Original soundtrack, part 2. I've never heard this music before, not once ever before in my life, so my reaction is going to be in real time, live to the music. Anything I point out, anything I talk about is off the top of my head. There's no script, there's no preparation, there are no notes, and we're going to start with Those With Power from Disc 2. And I'm gonna turn my headphones up just a scotch. Oh yeah. Come on now. Man, this snare drum is everything. Come on now. Ah! Right there. Right where I'm pointing, that's the snare. That drum sound you're hearing, that's a snare drum. That was a ton of fun and a great way to start this off. Loved it. Oh, that synth was just like ignorant. It was just like, so what's wild about that first part is it's totally 4/4. But because you have those hits on beat 4, it almost makes you feel like you're somewhere else. So really interesting. You could hear throughout this these synth placements. Yeah, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Before we continue on, a quick shout out and a thank you to super chatters, Megadu and he. I am Derp Matter. There are certainly some up quarks and some down quarks going on, but perhaps I'll lose my string of thought if you like molecular jokes. Okay, anyway, let's keep this thing rock and rolling. I will read all super chats at the end. Okay, this next one is called Zen. Thank you, Giovanni, for laughing at my really bad molecular jokes. I appreciate it. Subatomic. Thank you. See, I don't even know. Yes, I did, Kwame. Thank you. I think it's interesting that the title of this one is Zen, but it feels like almost like foreboding or like something's gonna happen. Ooh, piano now. So sure, I'm reading from the chat, and I'm cheating a little bit because I'm getting context of what's going on in the game by looking at the chat. Chat says, yeah, Buddhist temple, okay. I get it. I also get the, it's like the taiko drums. And that drone, sure, is sort of like, if you've ever heard Buddhist chanting, well, typically Buddhist chanting happens on one note, but, well, the Buddhist chanting I've heard happens on one note. I'm not extremely well versed in Buddhist chanting, but the Buddhist chanting I have heard happens on a single note, like and it just sort of goes along at one, well, note, pitch. All right, this next one is called Dot. West Shinbashi. Oh, we've heard this before. Okay. One thing I want to bring your attention to here is the way the drums are set up. I hope you're listening on headphones. Because it was like, you can hear you have drums, middle, sides, and then all the way on the sides. Fiat. Thank you, House Ghost. Yeah, bass in there. There's a bass guitar playing. It's pretty quiet. Well, so there's two different bass things that I'm talking about. So there's like a drone bass that's produced by a synthesizer, and then there's either a synthesizer emulating electric bass or an actual electric bass. Those are not headphones. He has strange ears. That's funny. All right, so listen. No, these are task cams, actually, believe it or not. Now, before we listen to the next song, I have a very important message from a very distinguished guest in our midst. Pikachu itself is in fact here. And Pikachu says, Pika Pika, Pika Pika Pikachu, Pika Pika, Pika Pika Chew, which translated into English means glad to see that Shin Megami Tensei 5 continuing, as there are a load of great battle tracks coming up, Battle Destruction being one of the standouts. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Pikachu. Or, as they say in your native tongue, Pika Pika. All right, let's keep this thing going with Quest Blindly. And no, I will never get tired of that joke. All right, so like a little surfy, a little like James Bondy. How long did it take me to learn the Pikachu language? Well, I'm not technically fluent, I'm just proficient. And it took me about 5.5 years, but I took a break after I graduated from high school to not speak Pikachu for about 2 years. And then while I was traveling around in, the Sea of Cortez, I finally actually met someone who spoke Pikachu, and then I decided to pick it back up then. Can I sing in the key of Pikachu? Yes, I can. Alright, so everyone, listen to the drums. Now remember that rhythm. Because this is why I wouldn't call this rock, per se. I mean, yeah, sure, you could kind of call this rock. But when you have that, it's almost like what I call a bar rumba. Now, why, pray tell, you might be saying, Dan, do you call it a bar rumba? Okay, the reason I call it a bar rumba is because if you've ever played gigs in a bar, and someone says, we're going to play a rumba, that's what you do. You go. So maybe not an actual rumba, but it's a bar rumba because if you play bar gigs, someone asks you to play a rumba, like the band leader's like, all right, we're going to do whatever in the key of like B minor. It's like, we're going to do it like a rumba. You say to yourself, okay, what you mean is we're standing in a bar playing music. You have asked me to play a rumba, so what I should actually play is a bar rumba. Okay. Little piece of possibly not at all universal musical trivia. That might just have been my experience playing with a couple of bands. But hey, anyway, this next one is called Quest. So guys, don't take that as like music theory gospel. Like, treat that one with a pinch of salt. But that's been my experience. So I think we looked this up the last time there was an elegy, and it's a sad poem or a thoughtful poem. Well, Shah, I will answer your question after this song. So some really interesting things going on in your left ear. These little wing slidey things. Okay. They sent me to music school and I call them slidey things. All right. So we had a question in the chat, which I thought would be an actually interesting thing for us to talk about. So Shah Fermo says, as somebody who isn't that all musically inclined, but how does the pentatonic play into the soundtrack here? Do any songs have just so much of an East Asian influence it can't be a Western scale? Very interesting. So, okay, number one, whenever we say a pentatonic scale, we mean a 5-note scale. Now, there's the pentatonic scale, which is a particular 5-note scale, but pentatonic just means the number of notes in the scale. So you could have hexatonic, which would be 6 notes, heptatonic, which would be 7, octatonic, which would be 8, dodecatonic, which would be 12. So a pentatonic scale just means it has 5 notes in it. So technically, I suppose, well, okay, I'm not going to unpack that. But yeah, so pentatonic. So the pentatonic happens to be a particular mode of the pentatonic scale, like that. Or if you play it as if it's a major scale, which already we're getting into mode land. So I think what was interesting about the question is, okay, we have this one scale. Now, this scale, what's really interesting about this scale, you guys, is that the pentatonic scale shows up across the world in different cultures. It's like one of those things where like two different people on two different sides of the world like invent the same thing at the same time. Like you hear this scale across the world, and it's almost like this collective consciousness, like basic human thing to sing the pentatonic scale. And there's a great video of Bobby McFerrin, which everyone go check this out after the stream. Bobby McFerrin actually gets this whole auditorium to sing the pentatonic scale because it's so programmed into us. It's this 5-note scale that it's almost part of our DNA, perhaps. I don't know. But point is, the question was, okay, one of these particular 5-note scales, this particular pentatonic scale, can we call it an East Asian scale? Can we say that the root of how this 5-note scale is being used is from Asia, or is it used from a more Western perspective? And Western in this context means European descendant music theory coupled with African slave music, which turned into the blues, kind of, sort of coming together to create what we kind of have now as modern music. It's a very long, complex thing involving many different inputs and things. So basically the question was, okay, is it Western or is it Asian? And well, I don't really know. And we'd have to ask the composer what their intention was. Okay, so let's keep this thing rocking and rolling with Quest Raid. You're welcome, Shot. Oh, I love the way this started out and how the beat's shaping up now. This was so cool. So number one, there's delay on the attack of that main synth sound, which gives you this feeling of like something's disconnected, it's not right, it's late, it's disjointed. And where those synths came in originally, I was very much anticipating the pulse and the beat, really, to be somewhere different. Little modulation right before it went back in there, that was cool. Just like a little pitch bend. Nice parallel fourth. Going up in fourths. Someone help me. I'm having a brain blank. I'll give an example of what I mean, and it's going to help you tell me. Chordal harmony. There we go. It was kicking around in there somewhere. I'll explain chordal harmony after this. Chordal. Q-U-A-R. Like quarter. Like four. So you just stack a bunch of fourths in a row. So it's like... See, it's like a fourth between that, a fourth between that and that, fourth between that and that. And you just go through like harmonizing a scale, but in fourths. So quartal harmony, which kind of sounds like a Pokemon. Somegu1, thank you so much for your support. I'm going to read all the super chats at the end of the stream. Let's keep this thing rocking and rolling. A rockin' and a reelin'. Barbara Ann. Baba. Barbara Ann. Two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, 1. Ooh. So I think what's interesting is to hear how we have like one iteration of this sort of like bowl gamelan-y type thing, and then we hear a repeat of it. So you hear it here, then you hear it repeated off to the side. Ooh, interesting guitar there. Ooh, that is some distortion on those drums. So this is the first time we've heard like swing. So I think technically we're hearing multimeter here because the voice was singing with straight eighths, but the drums were playing swung eighths. So this is another, we heard triplets against 4/4 earlier in disc 1, which we talked about you could kind of call it multimeter. But I love that. You have swing, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then against that, it's just straight eighth notes. And I'll break that difference down after this track. Yeah, Sonar XL, the drums are swinging, but listen to how the voice is doing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and it's keeping straight eighths. Okay, so let's understand what made that sound so unsettling and so sort of off kilter. And I mean, like, type a 1 in the chat if listening to that song made you feel a little weird, like something was like a little off, like something didn't quite feel right. Type a 1 in the chat if something did not feel quite right to you listening to that song. Okay, yeah, all right, so quite a few of you. Okay, so here's the thing. And look, I'm going to break this down for you. Okay, there's what we call straight eighths and swung eighths. Now, swung eighth notes, it's where we basically take two sounds. And we have two sounds. All right, eighth notes are like two sounds that repeat over again, like bop, 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 bop. Let's look at it like 4. Bop, 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 bop. Here, all those are even. I'm not speeding up or slowing down. Everyone's even. Bop, 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 bop. It's like clock ticking. It's even, 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 even. Now, what happens is if we move in time, these two out, we have bop, 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 bop. Yeah, that changes because we're putting these two sounds closer together. So what happens is you can have these. This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you have the drums going. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 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 and 2, and 3, and 4, and maybe, look, maybe I'm counting this wrong, and I'm going to take heat in the comments for it, but hear me out. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. You hear how that voice is lining up exactly with those straight 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So what you have is you have one element, the voice going bop, 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 holding those even eighth notes, which we call straight eighth notes. That's that even sound. And then you have the drums going bop, 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 bop. And that difference between the drums doing the swing eighth notes or the swung eighth notes and then the voice doing those straight eighth notes, that's what makes it feel so weird, because you're getting, well, if you'll forgive me, you're getting one and this one right here, this figure right here is the and then you're also right next to the and getting the swung eighth note that was moved over a little bit in the drum. So you have this disconnect between the sounds, and that disconnect between the sounds is what makes that sound so unsettling. All right, let's get this thing going. Hey, Noah. So in here, we've heard this type of progression before back in disc 1. We had... Ooh, very interesting. This like E Phrygian mode type thing going on. That when you get to the F, you have that raised 4, which would create a Lydian sound. So, and what would you... Okay, so here's an interesting theme we're seeing. Not a theme in terms of musical theme, but a theme of tension with things being close to each other. In that last song, we heard swung eighths versus straight eighths. And here we're hearing minor seconds, which is the closest distance you can get to two intervals. And because they're so close, to the closest distance between two notes. And because they're so close, oh gosh. Oh yeah. Oh, just breathe that in. Oh my goodness. Right, it's tension. So because you had those beats before in the last song that were close to each other, that created tension. And because we have notes close to each other here in this song, that creates tension. Wait, you want more minor seconds? Like that? Like that? Like that? Like that? Oh, yes. That one, that's a juicy one right there. Okay, let's keep this thing going. Help. All right, let's keep this thing going. Sorry about that. There's a thing on my mic. All right, this next one is called Reunion and Encounter. I agree with you, Zenju, but it's so fun if you're not used to it. Welcome, Aaron. The best supporters ever! Oh, listen to that bass rolling in. That is gorgeous. I can't remember anything. Can't tell if this is true or a dream. But deep down inside, I feel to scream. This terrible silence stops meh. Quoth the poet, James Hetfield. This is pretty ominous. Well, it's not just the four notes. It's like that right there. Having that minor sixth there over what we perceive to be the one is like a lot of tension, especially in this context. I think if you go back to perhaps it was the Terraria stream that I did, I think there was something where I didn't have my guitar with me. I was like, oh yeah, that's got to be like a diminished fifth. Made a mistake. It was like a minor sixth, and it was like, whoa, it can sound really dissonant in the right context and sound really ominous. Koshimizu. So we're actually hearing the theme from the last song showing up in motifs here. And we're hearing it at different speeds. So you can hear the piano's actually doing it, but faster. That high piano is doing it faster than the low piano. Everyone hear that high piano? And this piano down here is hinting at it the whole time. Ah, see, there it is. That high piano playing it. Echoes of the Mind. 2-member at Kazoo Club, thank you for your support. Let's keep this thing rock and roll with Ordinary Life. Woke up. Got out of bed. Dragged a comb across my head. Made my way downstairs. And drank a cup. And looking up, I noticed I was late. Yes, Giovanni. That's from a Beatles song, you nerd. Yes, it is, and yes, I am. Someone call Jim Peter. We got a Eye of the Tiger wannabe here. not want to be in a bad thing. I'm just making a joke. This one is called Battle Strength. Oh, we're about to get thrashy now. Yeah, I'd say 5-4 probably because of how fast everything is. That would make what these are doing 16th notes. Oh, that right there was a callback to a theme we've heard before. So it's interesting that we going up an octave thing, we heard that before, but in the key of E a bunch of times. Oh, love that. Ooh. Ooh, that's cool. Now back. Oh, love that. Okay. Sometimes you think song's over and it's not. All right, let's talk about the really cool descending lines that happened there, because that was actually, like, honestly kind of awesome. So we have, basically in the key of G, we have that in and of itself is pretty cool and not something you see all the time. A lot of times you see the James Bond thing, which would be like walking down from 7 in some way, or doing chromatically as we did before. Now, what was really cool is how in the third part of the melody, so 2 times it was this. Yeah. Then it did it again. Now here's where the, oh my gosh, the cool part comes. All right. And then it goes, sorry. There we go. Oh! And we get the major third. Who the funk? Because the whole song was in minor, and then just bringing that major third thing in there, sick. Totally sick. This next one is called Jouin High School. So this is the second time we've heard this particular little element theme. We heard that before, but in the key of D, I think. Alex, yes, there will be a part 3. Now harmonize with thirds. So it's building. So here now it's back to one note. So everyone listen to this. It's one note. One note at a time. Everyone hear that? It's one note at a time. And now chords now, maybe? There it is. Now adding a note on top of that first note. It's the same exact pattern. Ah. This next one is called Hayataro. Oh, I love this bass groove. Oh, come on now. Oh, it's speaking to me. It's telling me a story. Oh, come on now. Oh, I love this. Oh, this groove is sick. This song is my favorite so far from the OST. This is sick. It is so tasteful. Also, I'm going to break down what's so cool about this guitar part and how it relates to the band Deep Purple. Okay, so how does this song relate to the famous song Smoke on the Water? Well, I'm going to show you. So the chord that's being used here is a power chord, but the really cool thing is that the highest note is put on the bottom. So a power chord is when you have, well, you can take like a scale, like do, a deer, a female deer, do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do. And you just take do and sol, and you play them together like this. Do, sol, do. Now what happens? Watch what happens when we take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 5, 5. And if we put 5 on the bottom, so we're going to take 5 off the top, we're going to put it on the bottom, lower down, and then we play that with 1. That's what sounds so heavy there. So that same thing, a lot of people play Smoke on the Water like this. That's not at all how it went down. How it went down was with 5 on the bottom. Like that. So, making my way, distortion, tugging fast, shabba shabba da shabba da 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 dump, jumpa ducky duck, shagga da da dump, Hayataro. And I need you, and I miss you. If I could fall into the sky, did Did you know time would pass me by? Because you know. I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more. Just to be the man. Walked 1,000 miles. So we're referencing that theme we heard before, but doing different motifs. It's changing. Oh, come on. Oh, they better be dropping it in a second. Oh, please drop it. Please. Come on. Maybe now? No. Okay, maybe this is going to build up to something. Yes, a power chord is basically a perfect fifth. The interval of a harmonic perfect fifth. Yes, Raven Blue Indigo. That is correct. And you can invert the power chord by putting 5 on the bottom, which is what I just demonstrated before. Which is then it's no longer technically a power chord, it's like a power fourth or something? I don't know. Hey guys, real quick, before we go to the last song, don't have any sponsors on this channel, but what I do have is a link in the comments, not comments, in the chat. It's the 10 things I think every gamer should know about music theory. Go click on that link. You're going to get a free thing from me where I literally made it for you, where you can tell the 10 things I think every gamer should know about music theory. You get another free download in like 2 days from now, and you can also like get my book and things for like really cheap. It's cool. It's fun. Anyway, let's keep it rocking and rolling. Next one is called Sahori. Sahori. I tried to roll the R and didn't quite roll the R the first time, so it sounded really weird, but hey, here we are. Beautiful. This is beautiful. Oh, greetings, Czech Republic. I see you, Pavlos. What the heck? Oh, this is getting real weird. Oh, it's about to go down in disc 3. Make sure you catch disc 3. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when the next stream is going to happen. And again, in the chat, there is a link to the 10 things I think every gamer should know about music theory. I literally made it for you to give you something for free that you can have forever Give it to your children, and they too shall know. All right. So, final reaction and summary. I had a lot more fun in this one, Disc 2, than it did in Disc 1, and I'll tell you why. Disc 2, we started to have some themes that we could gravitate towards. We started to have some continuity. Disc 1 sort of felt like, and Disc 2 feels like, if that makes sense. So not, but, and I know that's not what you showed up for to hear, but that's what I'm saying. It's like it just it sounds like it's almost like you start off, and maybe this has something to do with the story, that there's a big sort of a lot of things that are not clear, or there's some question, or there's something you're trying to find out in the part in Disc 1, and in the part of Disc 2, it's like you sort of found it out and you start to know your purpose in the game, perhaps. But there's a clarity that happens in Disc 2 that wasn't in Disc 1. So perhaps, chat, you can let me know if that sounds about right, or if not. I'll be going to psychic school later on to be like, I think there's someone with an E in their name that you know. Correct, actually. Good guess. All right, cool. All right, awesome sauce. So hang out. We're going to read some super chats and say thank you to our super chatters for supporting the channel. And we're going to rock and roll with some background music. Look at us. Very distinguished. Yes. Thank you all so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I honestly feel so honored that y'all show up when I do streams to watch it. It really means a lot to me that I get to do this. It's so much fun. So thank you for making it possible for me to do this. Really, thank you. Okay. Let's see, Shin Megami Tensei Part 2. Yes, very distinguished. Okay, back on track, maybe? Okay, Megadu said, cheers, Zenju, take care. All right, Megadu says, you should also try Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journeys OST. Well, if it's anything like this, I am down, count me in. Hee, I am Derp Matter. It says, by the way, that's honestly a phenomenal name and super clever and respect. If they aren't already on the list of soundtracks, I recommend Astral Chain or Xenoblade Chronicles series. Both are incredible games. We will use it to upvote Xenoblade Chronicles for sure, because I know that's near the top. We want to make sure that happens. Next one is a Gravity... Xudmud? Shudmud? Is it like the Aztecs where all the Z's turn into H's? Who knows? Tune in next week on Linguistic Journeys with Dan. Okay, says, recommending the Gravity Rush and Gravity Rush 2 soundtracks with this. Amazing games and amazing soundtracks and well worth playing and a lesson. Oh, and he-ho. Xenoblade actually has said Henoblade, if you must know. That was a joke. Do not come after me in the comments. That was a joke. King Peggy says, this is a hilarious message, sure to make you laugh, but no. King Peggy actually says, no more funny messages. 5 towards Chrono Triggs. This is some weird cult that I have no idea what's going on. Every time I say hee-ho, the chat starts typing hee-ho. It's probably something from the game, but from the outside, when you have no context, it's a little creepy. It's like, his name was Robert Paulson. His name was Robert Paulson. Okay, glad to see Pikachu says, Shin Megami Tensei continuing up. Oh no. Oh boy. If you're watching this on demand, I highly recommend watching with the chat. It really makes the experience a lot, fun. All right, Pikachu says, glad to see Shin Megami Tensei 5 continuing as there's a load of great battle tracks coming up. Battle Destruction being one of the standouts I look forward to. Pikachu says, Persona 3 and Nier Replicant. You got it, Pika. So Megu 1 says, hi Dan, love your reactions. As a fellow artist, I learn a lot. Well, so glad I am of at least a small amount of help and information to you. So Megu1 continues on to say, I want to super chat towards Catherine Full Body. It's from the same devs who made the Persona series, interesting. And Shoji Meguro is an amazing composer indeed. It's like the Pika Pika from Pikachu, indeed. Pika Pika. Carlos, I hope everything went well with your day. I know you had to leave. Carlos says, hey Dan, just passing by really quickly since I'm planning on playing this game. Oh, Carlos, I hope you enjoy this after you finish playing the game. This is a time capsule message to future Carlos. Carlos, you're watching this now. The year is 2074. Anyway, Carlos says, I'm planning on playing this game and I don't want to spoil myself with music, so I hope you enjoy the rest. This goes to Persona 3. You got it, Carlos. Epix X2 says, really enjoying your reactions to video game soundtracks. The super chat goes towards reacting to Umeniko no Naku Koro ni OST. Ooh, my Japanese needs some work, huh? Okay. It might not even be... You want to know how much work my Japanese needs? I don't even know if that's Japanese. The Noteworthy Clan says, I will immediately second the Umeniko OST. I was about to ask for that too. Well, that worked out well. Aaron says, hey there, just became a member. Well, welcome to the Best Supporters Ever Tier Club. Aaron, look out for the AMA's exclusive to Best Supporter Tier and above things. Look out for those in the members area, and also the voting that happens every month for members. Aaron continues on to say, big fan ever since your Deltarune reactions. So I am donating for the Ikaruga OST. Lots of good stuff in there. You got it, Aaron. We'll put it on the list. Rubberman202 says, once again, requesting that you react to Mother 1 Earthbound Beginnings OST. Maybe you could also react to album as well. They basically give some songs from the game lyrics in it. That sounds super cool. Rubberman, I will for sure upvote Mother 1. Oh, Rubberman's rolling their R's too. All right, Rock Bomber says, love the live reactions and musical input you have. Put this towards Octopath Traveler. It's one of the best OSTs out there. You've got it, Rock Bomber. Faux show. Joshua Villarreal. I think I got that right, but I might not. It says, hey there, just wanted to say thanks for the amazing content. Here's to hoping maybe one day you react to one of my games in the future. Joshua Villarreal. Put this towards Everhood. Guys, I don't know who Joshua Villarreal is. He says one of his games. Who is Joshua? What games? Villarreal, I got it. Put this towards Everhood. That game soundtrack is absolutely wild. Joshua, I'm gonna have to Google you. I don't know who you are, but excuse me for not knowing who you are. But I'll have to hop on the Googs. Wrench says, love the channel, totally addicted at the moment. Oh, well, thanks for hanging out, Wrench. Wrench says, please check out, I'm not even gonna try and say that, and Ace Waters' Undertale cover albums. Determination, red, blue, and purple sides. Well, we'll check into that for sure, Wrench, and we're gonna put that on the list for sure, 100% there. Smiles, ADV. When I say check into it, I mean we're gonna do it. Small time indie, nothing out yet, just a pipe dream. Hey man, that's all you need. I love it, Joshua. I look forward to when Joshua, you let me know. You tweet at me. You slide into my inbox when you do your first game. Okay. Smiles ADV says, hello, I just wanted to say I love these reactions. First live stream I've been able to catch. Could you add the Dead Cells OST to the list? You got it. Yeah, with some amazing music. And Isaac Bunsen says, I love Shin Megami Tensei 5 and I need to finish it. This goes to the Golden Sun. Oh, see, the first two games are a complete story back to back. The time gap is negative. Motoi Sakuraba is a brilliant composer. My first guitar was a little half size half-size piece of nothing, and I'm not even sure what brand it was. I'd have to go look at it. Anyway, thank you all so much for hanging out on this stream. I will see y'all next time. Take care and bye.